This is a demonstration of a program I wrote for a TI-83 Plus. You can see that I have the option of pressing enter to run the program, one to do a setup. The setup contains parameters like what's the maximum number on the dial of my infeed of my lathe, what's the maximum depth of cut that I would like, and how many finish cuts I would like. It also lets me turn on or off the auto compensation for depth of cut on the final finish cut, and I'm going to leave it on for now. So I'll hit enter to start the program. Let's assume that I have a goal diameter of 1.000. There's 1, and let's say I'm starting at 1.5, and let's say my dial is set to 0. So it's going to have me do 4 roughing cuts of 50 thou each. So this is the first cut. I hit enter. Now it's this. Now this is the 3 more to go. So a second cut, 2 more to go, and then finally this is the last roughing cut. When I hit enter, it again verifies that my dial is in the right place, which should be at 0. So I say enter, and I should now be at 1.1 for the diameter, and it figures out that at 1.1 I am 100 thou to go for diameter, so that's 50 thou for radius, and I'm making 3 finish cuts. So 50 divided by 3 comes out to rounded to the nearest integer, 17. So the first finish cut is 17. It tells me to set the dial at 17. It asks me for the diameter that I get, and I should be, if everything is perfect, 1.066. So it takes that and it figures out that with what's left I need a depth of cut of 17, and that puts the dial at 34. So make that finish cut, and then I have 1 more finish cut to go. It's asking me again for my measured diameter. 1.032 would be the ideal diameter, and because everything's ideal, it says my depth of cut correction factor of 1 is applied. If everything wasn't perfect, that number would be off, and it would give me an idea of how much fixed error I have between my depth of cut dialed in and my actual change in radius. And then my final cut is 16, because I should be at 1.032 for the diameter, so a change of 16 on the radius should get me to the answer. And at this point, you take the finish cut, you're done. And if I press enter, I can come back to the original screen, and this time I'll show you the setup. So I hit 1, it says the dial size, present value is 100. I can keep it or change it, so keep it. Roughing cut, present value is 50. Let's say I want to change it, so I hit 2. I could say, well, let me change it to 60. Hit enter. Number of finish cuts, I'll keep it at 3. Nope, hit the wrong button. Well, I'll put it back to 3. And then auto compensation is on, so I can hit 1 to keep it. And now I'm ready to start cutting again. If I don't want to do that, I just hit 0 and it bails me back to the beginning. There's lots of places in this program where if you get confused, you can hit 0 and get back to the home screen. It also monitors your roughing cuts, so it times how long it takes to do the first roughing cut, and if any of the subsequent ones are more than twice as long, then it says, gee, maybe you forgot to record one of them. So it stops you and asks you to take a measurement of the diameter so it can figure out if things are on track. If you take a cut but you don't record it, no, I got it backwards. If you don't take a cut but you record it, then you're going to come up short, and when you go to the finish cut phase, it'll say, wait a minute, you could take more roughing cuts, and it'll send you back to do some more roughing cuts. So it tries to anticipate the kinds of mistakes that I make, at least, and keep me out of trouble. And with this program, I can then focus on running my lathe and not ciphering off on the side with pencil and paper, where I tend to at least get distracted and I don't do the math right every time, and I don't run the lathe right every time. So, hope you enjoyed this. There will be an article posted, and I intend to put the program up on my website in such a way that if you have the cable, you can download it off my website and upload it into a TI-83. So, hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you later.